All right, today we're going to dive into a fascinating puzzle about how we make decisions. And it all kicks off with a number that on the surface makes absolutely no sense at all. Here it is, 850,000 Chinese yuan. To put that in perspective for you, we're talking about a huge amount, something like $500,000. This was the price of a luxury watch that a man bought in Shanghai. But here's the kicker, the part that's truly mind-boggling. He didn't spend hours thinking it over. He didn't compare different models or read reviews. The entire purchase, from the moment he walked into the store to the moment he paid, took less than 5 minutes. So you have to ask, what could possibly drive someone to make such a massive, split-second decision? Well, when someone asked him why, he didn't talk about the intricate mechanics or its value as an investment. Nope. His answer was incredibly simple and totally emotional. He just said, "My friends all wear this model." And that's it. You see, the decision wasn't really about the watch at all. It was about connection, about belonging. And that one little moment, it tells us pretty much everything we need to know about how our brains are actually wired. So to really understand what just happened, we've got to crack the code of human experience. And the key to this whole thing, believe it or not, comes from the work of a Nobel Prize-winning psychologist who discovered that our memories are, well, not quite what we think they are. It's called the peak end rule, and it was pioneered by the brilliant Daniel Kahneman. Here's what it says. Our brains don't record our experiences like a long, continuous movie. Instead, they just take a couple of mental snapshots. They remember the most intense emotional moment, that's the peak, and how the experience ended. That's it. Everything else in between just kind of fades away. And this idea completely flips the script on what we think of as good service. You know, most companies aim to be consistently good across the board, but that just creates this flat, bland, totally forgettable experience. What the peak end rule shows us is that an experience with one amazing high point, one incredible peak, becomes intensely memorable, even if the rest of it was just okay. This all happens because our brain is basically running on two different operating systems. You've got System 2, which is your slow, careful, logical mind. But the thing is, it gets tired out really fast. Then you have System 1. That's your fast, gut-feeling, emotional brain. And guess what? It's making almost all of your decisions, including that $500,000 watch purchase. And System 1 doesn't care about averages. It only remembers the peaks. So if we know our brains are hardwired to remember these peak moments, the next logical question for any business is, where do you focus your time and money to create them, right? You can't make every single second perfect, so you've got to be smart about it. You have to pick your battles. And thankfully, there's a really clear roadmap for this. It's built around these 4 critical moments of truth, the key points where a customer makes a crucial decision about your brand. First, getting them to even consider you. Second, the moment they actually decide to buy. Third, what makes them come back for more. And fourth, the moment they're so happy they tell all their friends about you. And why are these 4 moments so critical? Well, because we live in a world of infinite choice. These 4 decision points are literally where you win or lose a customer, maybe for life. So instead of trying to improve 100 little things by a tiny bit, the smart move is to focus all your energy on creating one unforgettable peak experience in one of these 4 key moments. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but let's see how it actually plays out in the real world. This isn't just some academic idea. It has a massive, and I mean massive, impact on business. Let's look at a case study. So a while back, China Airlines had a big problem on its hands. Their most profitable product, their long-haul business class, just wasn't selling. The planes would take off with economy completely full, but those high-margin business class seats, they were mostly empty. Now, they could have spent a fortune redesigning the seats, changing the menus, a complete overhaul. But they didn't. Instead, they used this exact framework to create peaks at specific moments of truth. And the result? It was staggering. Their net profit grew 10 times over in just 2 years. So how on earth did they do it? It all came down to one powerful insight. They realized that for experienced business travelers, people who have eaten at the best restaurants in the world, creating a peak moment based on taste is nearly impossible. But a visual peak? Now that was something they could do. So they completely redesigned the meal service to be this beautiful, stunning, highly photogenic experience. And what happened? Passengers started pulling out their phones, taking pictures, and sharing them online. That one visual peak became the memorable moment that defined the entire flight. So this is the really exciting part. How can we take this powerful idea and actually apply it to any business, any brand, any project we're working on? Well, the philosophy behind it is actually surprisingly simple. It really just boils down to this three-step mantra. First, find your beauty. Identify that one unique strength, the thing you do better than anyone else. Second, amplify that beauty. Don't just make it good. Pour all your resources into making it an absolutely unforgettable peak experience. And third, land your beauty. Deliver that peak moment at one of those critical moments of truth where you know it will have the biggest possible emotional impact. So let's wrap this up. The biggest takeaway here is that success is not about being perfect at everything. It's about being extraordinary at the few things that truly matter. Our brains are wired to remember the peaks. Our decisions are driven by that fast emotional system one. And our resources are always limited. So by focusing on creating those amazing moments at those key decision points, you can have a truly outsized impact. And I'll leave you with this question to think about. Think about a brand that you are just absolutely loyal to. I'll bet it's not because their service was consistently okay. It was probably because of one single, unforgettable moment, a peak experience, that made you a fan for life. What was that moment for you?